Hey YouTube, Tom, I'm modeling here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to detail an Athearn combo door rail box like this one. This is specifically for combo door rail boxes because the regular rail boxes have a different sort of brake rigging. So what I'm going to do, I've already taken the trucks and couplers off of the bottom, and I'm going to remove the floor, just like that. And I'll take the car body and just put it somewhere else. What I'll do next is I'll take pieces of styrene strip of 040 by 040, and I'll take little pieces of them measured to fit on these bigger ribs just to make them taller. Take two of them and cut them, stack them together and glue the rest on the car body. So that's what I'm going to do next. Alright, so once I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some pieces of styrene channel, 0.1 millimeter, or sorry, 2.5 millimeter. And what I've done is I've cut them according to the length of these new ribs, just like that. And I've also cut out the sort of center pieces so it'll fit over the center sill. What I'm going to do now is I'll sort of glue them on like that. Okay, so as you can see, I've taken those pieces of styrene and glued them on the top to make these bigger ribs, as would be prototypical, and it'll be easier to attach wire to them. And by the way, the glue I'm using, some of you may not like this, but it's just simple Gorilla Glue gel. Works pretty well for what I need to do. And the next step we're going to do is we're going to take these custom cut pieces for the levers and glue those on. I'll come back to you once I've done that. Alright, so I've glued those pieces in, and I've added this plate here. So I can just show you the positioning here. This first piece, this bigger one, should be really should be in this tiny piece of the brake cylinder, I think, but it doesn't quite fit, so I'm just going to put it underneath. And the smaller one goes right after this rib, and I neglected to add that there's a small plate here too. So that's how that's going to be. Now I'm going to add in two more plates on either end of the car, about here and here. I have those plates in. There's one close to the bolster on this end and this end, about the same distance. And by the way, I'm using for the styrene pieces like this, using 0.020 inch styrene sheet. You can see it's fairly thin. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go into the wire works. What I'm using is 0.020 inch phosphor bronze wire from Tissue Train Group like this. It's pretty easy to get from your local hobby shop for pretty cheap, as you can see here, $3. And I've cut and measured a whole bunch of pieces to the right size that I need to. And I'll add about a piece at a time and show you. So what I've done is I've attached this brake rod here to these two ribs and this bigger lever here going nearly to the plate. I miscut, so it doesn't quite go there, but that's where it should go. So it'll look like just like this. And then I'll take another piece of wire acting as a brake rod about the same length, which will also go from the other end of the lever to that plate. That's what I'll do next. So that's about how that piece should look right there. Almost at a sort of a V angle. Those just look like that. Once again, attached to both of these ribs and the other end of the lever. Now this next piece is going to be a little tricky, as it's going to go underneath this lever, this rib, that plate, and this lever. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide it underneath, put some glue on it, and then sort of pull it upward and probably like hang it upside down so that it glues to the underside of it. Alright, so you can see I've taken that piece and I've stuck it underneath those pieces of the rib and the two levers, and I've glued it in underneath. The next pieces I'll go in with are some bent angle pieces that will go from the triple valve to the air reservoir and around that area. The first piece I've added is this little angle piece from the triple valve to this rib. Just imagine it goes underneath this plate. So the next piece I've added basically is going to be attached imaginarily to this piece that goes under the plate and is connected to this other piece here. And the next piece that I'm going to add is another angle piece going from the triple valve to the air reservoir, which I'll show next. Alright, so the next piece I've glued in is this longer piece with a small angle at the end from the triple valve to the air reservoir. There'll be two similar pieces like this. The next one I'm going to glue in will also go from the triple valve to the other part of the air reservoir, which I'll show next. Alright, so the next piece I've added is that little piece there, which isn't quite as long as the previous piece, and it has a slightly bigger angle on it. It'll look just like that. So the next and final piece I'm going to add is going to go from this lever here all the way about to this final plate here. Alright, so that's the last piece I'm going to glue in. As you can see, it goes from the bottom of the smaller lever here all the way to this plate. And this is the second of 3 of these railboxes I'm going to do. I'll show you the other one I've done already. Right here, this one I didn't really do a V shape with the brake rods here, but it looks about the same as you can see. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and paint these with some black spray paint, and then I'll work on showing you how to attach air hoses and custom coupler cut levers to the body of the car. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take some of this flat black Rust-Oleum spray paint, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint the underbody of it, this entire thing. Got a couple other underbodies to do at the same time, so I'll come back to you once I finish that. Okay, so as you can see, I've painted the entire underbody black. It looks pretty good. Every single surface is painted, and all I have to do is slip it back into the car body. Okay, so as you can see, I've put the underbody into the car body itself, and next thing I'll do is re-add the couplers and trucks. Okay, so now I've re-added the couplers and trucks. Looks pretty good. The trucks don't hit the brake lines in any way. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to add air hoses and coupler cut bars. Okay, so the air hoses I'm going to be using are KD HO scale air hoses and angle cocks number 438. So they come in the sprue here. They're the air hoses, they're the angle cock brackets. So I'm going to assemble those, put them onto the car, and I'll show you afterward. Alright, so what I've done is I've taken the air hose, I've put it into the angle cock, and I've attached it to the right of the coupler pocket, and it looks pretty good. You can see right here, very convincing air hose. If you want to, you can add like a little bit of phosphor bronze wire at the end to make it look like it's going under the truck. I'm not going to do that just because it's too tedious. And now I'll show you how to attach coupler cut levers and brackets. Okay, so for a coupler cut lever bracket, I'm going to use a little bit of styrene angle on a piece of styrene plate that I've cut out. Looks just like that. I know you can use plano coupler cut lever brackets, however I find the tangent coupler cut levers that I use don't go through the holes on them. So I'll simply take that and attach it to the end of the car. I'll show you that after I've done that. Okay, so as you can see, I've taken that bracket and I've glued it to the end of the car on the very left. What I'll do next is I'll take a tangent coupler cut lever, glue it to the bracket and to the underside of the coupler pocket. Okay, so as you can see, I've glued the coupler cut lever onto that coupler bracket and onto the underside of the coupler pocket. And what I'll do next is I'll paint it the same yellow as the boxcar. And there you have it. I have now successfully detailed an HO scale combo door railbox. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the video.